this evening we shall continue to discuss about Paramattha Satya, or ultimate truth. Ultimate truth is of two kinds. The first is known as Sabhava Satya, the other is Arya Satya. Sabhava Satya, the natural truth consists of the four ultimate realities. They are mind or chitta or cetasika, the mental concomitants, rupa, materiality, and nibbana or enlightenment. So this from Sabhava Satya is also the truth of the Noble One. For example, we living in this mundane world, we do come into contact with a present objects. For example, there's a present context with a physical object. Then then we feel happiness or sukha or physical happiness. So that feelings is real. No one can deny it and saying that it's not true. Similarly, when we perceive a pleasant mental object, then there's a feeling of mental happiness, somanasa. So this is real. It does exist in the ultimate sense. Or when we come into contact with unpleasant objects, or unpleasant physical objects, then there's a feeling of dukkha or pain, or when there's contact with unpleasant mental object, then there's a rising of domanassa, or unpleasant mental feelings. So all these feelings are real. So in from the point of view of the mundane world, they are real. But if one doesn't develop wisdoms or understanding to see them as they really are, then defilements could be arising. For example, craving could be arising for whatever that's pleasant. Hatred could be arising when there's a painful contact that give rise to painful feeling. So if one doesn't develop wisdoms or understanding, then mental defilements will be arising, and even overwhelming a person. So one must develop wisdoms or understanding. So this when one develops wisdoms, understanding about this truth, then they could overcome the mental defilements and attain the noble path. So in other words, the noble one see things as they really are. They see things as they really occur. Is totally different from the worldlings or putujana in Pali. So as long as we we do not develop understanding of wisdoms, then we can never attain the noble path. So in other words, to attain the noble path, one must take the subject of meditation. We can say the noble truth as a subject of meditation. So there are four noble truths, Arya Satya. As you know, the noble truth of suffering, and the second, the noble truth of the cause or the origin of suffering, and the third, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering, and the fourth, the noble truth of the path or the way leading to the cessation of suffering. So if one aspires to become a noble one, then one has to take this truth as a subject of meditation. That's why the object of meditation, the object of mindfulness meditation, vipassana meditation, are known as Chatu Satya Kamathana. Chatu means four. Satya, truth, refers to the four, the noble truth. Kamathana, it means a working place for the mind on any subjects or objects that leads to the mental development, or development in concentration and wisdoms. So during the practice of mindfulness meditation, vipassana meditation, we take this the natural truth, the mind, and the mental concomitants or mental associates, and materiality, rupa, as the objects of mindfulness meditation. Nibbana is not an object of mindfulness meditation. So, in other words, we take the first noble truth and the second noble truth as the objects of mindfulness meditation, vipassana meditations. Only we take these the first noble truth and the second noble truth as the object of meditation, then we shall attain the noble path eventually. So what is the noble truth? In fact, the noble truth of suffering is the 5 aggregates of clinging, or in the words, mentality and physicality, or Namarupa. So the Namarupa, or 5 aggregates of clinging, are the truth of suffering to mindfulness meditators or vipassana meditators. As you know, the 5 aggregates are aggregates of materiality or physicality. The second is the aggregate of feelings or sensation, and the third is an aggregate of perception, and the fourth is aggregate of mental formation, and the fifth is aggregate of consciousness. Or in other words, the first aggregate or aggregate mentality is rupa, and the second aggregates, the third, and the fourth and the fifth are grouped under nama, or mental phenomena. In the teaching of Abhidhamma, Sankara, the aggregate of mental formation consists of 52 mental concomitants or mental associates. But when we look at this Namarupa as a 5 aggregates, then the feeling of perceptions become 2 different aggregates. So that's why the aggregate mental formation consists of 50 mental concomitants or mental associates. So one of the mental formations of Sankara Khanda is tanha, or craving. So tanha is the truth of the cause or the origin of suffering. So is it an object of mindfulness meditation, vipassana meditation as well? When we talk about the truth, it need not be something lofty. If you understand the teaching, the Buddha say craving is the cause of suffering, yet it's one of the truth. There are other unwholesome mental formation or unwholesome mental concomitants, such as hatred, dosa, moha delusion, moral shamelessness, moral fearlessness, ahirika, anuttapa, and so on. So they are the truth. Of course, there are other wholesome mental factors. Usually it's known as beautiful mental concomitants, such as alobha, adosa, or non-greed, non-hatred, or wisdom, panya, or sati, mindfulness, and so on. So when we talk about the truth is not only about something lofty. The truth is something that's real. Something is real, not otherwise. So we need to be mindful of them in order to develop wisdoms or right understanding. So during the practice of mindfulness meditation, we can say the object of phenomena of mindfulness meditation are the first noble truth, which consists of nama-rupa, or in other words, the five aggregates. And the second noble truth is also an object of phenomenon of mindfulness meditation. So these two truths cause a whirlings to go round and round again in this samsara. So one should rightly understand that these two truths is a cause for the whirlings to go round and round again in the samsara, in the cycle of birth and death. And the third truth, the truth of the cessation of suffering, and the fourth truth, the truth of the path or the way leading to the cessation of suffering, are not the objects of phenomena of mindfulness meditation. And these two noble truths, the third noble truth and the fourth noble truth, are the way to be free from the round of samsara. So in accordance with the commentaries, if one has rightly understood that the first two truths are the cause of the samsara, the round of the rebirth, and the third noble truth and the fourth noble truth will lead one to be free or liberated from samsara. If one is endowed with such basic knowledge, then one can begin to practice mindfulness meditation or vipassana meditations. So during the practice of mindfulness meditation, you have to develop the path. The scriptures say that one should develop the path in order to understand fully the truth of suffering. So that's why there's a discourse in the Samyutta Nikaya explained that the truth of suffering should be fully understood. And the second noble truth, the truth of the cause or the origin of suffering, should be fully abandoned. And the third noble truth, the truth of the cessation of suffering, should be fully realized, or should be fully experienced. And the fourth noble truth, the truth of the path or the way leading to the cessation of suffering, should be fully developed. So, in other words, only one who has fully understood the truth of suffering, it was Namarupa, or five aggregates, then one will be able to abandon suffering, or to remove suffering completely. So when the cause or the origin of suffering is uprooted or abandoned, one will attain a cessation of suffering or nibbana. So in other words, one has to overcome or uproot the cause of suffering completely in order to attain cessation of suffering. So taking cue of this teaching of noble truth, if you apply these teachings of the noble truth in your life, then you will encounter any problems in your life, then you have to find out the cause of these problems. If you know the cause, then most likely you know the solutions. The commentaries explain it with a simile. The commentaries say that the Buddha behaved like a lion. If one shoots an arrow to the lions, they say the lion will direct all the strength towards the man who is shooting an arrow at them, and not towards the arrows. So similarly, in the teachings of the Buddha taught us to overcome the cause. So the teaching is deal with the cause and not with the fruits. So you have to realize the cause of suffering. You have to deal with the cause of suffering. Those who do not understand the teaching, then they may deal with the cause. For example, they are teaching outside the Buddha Sasana, where the teachers taught the students or disciples torturing the body, thinking having this body is the cause of suffering. So similarly, if we wish to attain cessation of suffering, then you must deal with the cause, overcoming the cause. But as long as we do not understand fully that Namarupa is suffering, one may not put effort to overcome the cause. It is like the worldlings who like to enjoy all kinds of sensual pleasures, craving for all kinds of sensual objects. They do not know suffering at all. They will not be interested in the teachings which the Buddha say is against the streams of the sensual pleasures. So that's why we need to develop wisdom, understanding, so that we rightly understand that Namarupa, or the five aggregates, are the truth of suffering. So during the practice mindfulness meditation, meditators have to be mindful of Namarupa, or the five aggregates as they really are. So meditators can't choose one phenomenon or one object as the only object of mindfulness. It's because there are varieties of mental objects and physical objects. And we also need to realize these truths are not found outside us. These truths are found in you, not outside. The path leading to the cessation of suffering is not found outside you. The path is also found inside you. In other words, the path consists of 8 mental factors. The truth of suffering, the truth of cause suffering, also found in you. All this can be experienced in your mind. So the truth of suffering is experienced in your mind. The cause is also found in your mind. The path is also found in your mind. And we can say that the experience, we can experience the cessation of suffering. So you do not have to look outwards. That's why you have to turn your attention inwards in order to understand or to realize the truth. So meditators need to develop the noble path. The path consists of 2. One is known as mundane path, the other is supra-mundane path. The mundane path, or Lokiya Magga, is practiced by the worldlings. But the supra-mundane path is practiced by the noble one. So as long as we have not yet attained any stages of enlightenment, what we are practicing now is known as mundane path. It's known as mundane path because defilements are not yet uprooted. So the practice is not stable, not firm. And we can only attain mundane path when we have realized the true natures of mental and physical phenomena with deep concentration. So in fact, we can experience the truth to a certain extent during the practice of mindfulness meditation. For example, when meditators put forth strenuous effort, then they could be mindful of every process of the phenomenon attentively, precisely. So meditators, for example, be mindful of the movements of rising, falling during sitting meditation. If there's other object arising and that object is more dominant or more distinct than the process of rising movements or the process of falling movements, then meditators should be mindful of the other object which is more distinct. Whenever there's mental state arising, as soon as meditators perceive there's a mental state, for example thinking, they should be mindful and know it at that moment. They do not have to find out or analyze how long I have been thinking. At the moment of knowing this thinking, at that moment the meditator is mindful and know it. If that thinking, know it means taking mental note, for example thinking. If that thinking did not disappear instantly. So meditators need to put forth effort. It's because of mental effort meditators are able to mindful and note every process object more attentively, precisely. In other words, the mindfulness, you'll be staying with the object from the beginning of the beginning to the middle till the end of that process. Sometimes meditators realizing the object is arising and passing away very instantly, so they could not really perceive what I call the middle process. But sometimes meditators could see the process clearly. For example, when meditators are mindful of pain or note pain, meditators experience the intensity of pain is increasing and then decreasing and then disappear. Sometimes meditators have to mindful and note a process of pain constantly, continuously for a few minutes. At that moment, meditators perceive that pain is keep on changing, getting stronger, getting weaker, then getting slightly stronger again. Then eventually, the pain is subsiding gradually and disappear completely. So when meditators could develop mindfulness constantly, continuously, then gradually meditators you'll be able to attain deeper and deeper concentration. So mindfulness is a cause, or deep concentration is an effect. So what's emphasized here is moment-to-moment mindfulness. As some meditators could not see moment-to-moment mindfulness, then they may have to make use of the mental noting as a tool to develop moment-to-moment mindfulness. So mental noting is quite helpful to develop the mindfulness. But mental noting, for example, mentally said, rising, falling, is not mindfulness. It's merely a tool to lead the mind to the object of meditation, or in other words, to be more attentive, to be precise on the object meditation. Sometimes the practice is getting better and better. The mind could take note the arising of an object very instantly. But the most important is that the mindfulness is with the object, perceiving the arising and passing away object. Or sometimes the practice is getting better. Meditators could perceive the passing away the object, only the passing away the object. So meditators should be aware of it as it is. So when meditators could develop mindfulness from one moment to next moment, then they would gain deeper and deeper concentration. During the practice of mindfulness meditation, there's a mental factors known as right thoughts. Right thoughts actually is one of the mental concomitants, which is known as vitakka. Vitakka is translated as applied thoughts. But it's not about thinking about the object or thinking about the experience on the object. Right thoughts of vitakka means leading the mind towards the object of meditation. So the commentary explains with some similes. One of the similes, like a man is hitting the bell repeatedly. So similarly, meditators need to note the object repeatedly. If an object did not disappear instantly. At the beginning of practice, mindfulness and concentration are not strong enough. So meditators have to make use of the mental noting to lead the mind to the object, to lead the mind to experience the object. For example, when there's a pain arising, the pain is not disappearing immediately. So meditators have to note it repeatedly, pain, pain, pain. So that meditators could experience the painful sensation from one moment to next moment. In fact, there's no object that lasts more than a movement. But because mindfulness and concentration are not yet strong enough, then meditators might think an object, for the painful sensation, lasts for a few minutes, and so on. So meditators need to lead the mind to the object, for example the pain, again and again. So they need to note pain, ensuring that the mindfulness is staying with the painful sensation, experiencing the pain from one moment to next moment. So when meditators could develop mindfulness from one moment to next moment, then they come to realize clearly, first of all, the specific characteristics of the phenomena. For example, meditators realizing the movements of rising clearly. There's only process of rising movements, and then there's a process of falling movements. When the mindfulness is getting sharper, meditators realize that there's a series of movements. It's not a single process of rising movements, nor a long process of rising movements, a long process of falling movements, but all these movements consist of series of broken movements, and there's a process of mindfulness and the noting mind. So meditators could see clearly that the mindfulness or the noting mind is always arising almost at the same moment with the object, and that mindfulness also subject to passing away together with the object, almost at the same moment. So if meditators could see, realize there's a pair of processes, then gradually meditators come to realize both processes are arising and passing away very instantly. So when meditators could realize that the object are arising and passing away very instantly, and they could experience constantly, continuously, that every object is arising and passing away, then they come to realize sankhara dukkha, it means being oppressed by the constant and instant arising and constantly by the instant arising and passing away of the mental and physical phenomena. So when meditators could realize every phenomenon is arising and passing away very instantly, meditators come to realize that there's no self, because everything is arising and passing away. So when there's no self, then this craving will be removed at that moment. Craving is arising due to the idea or the notion of a self or an I or a person. When there's this idea, notion of a person, an I or you, then this notion I might have the desire for certain sensual pleasures or craving for certain sensual objects. But when meditators realize that at that moment there's no self except the instant arising and passing away of mental physical phenomena. So when the craving is overcome at that moment, then one could experience cessation at that moment, or cessation of suffering. But that cessation of suffering is not ultimate cessation. It's known as Tatanga Pahana Nirodha. We have explained the meaning of Tatanga Pahana. This when meditators have realized the true nature of mental and physical phenomena. In other words, when they have gained insight knowledge into the true natures of mental and physical phenomena, that insight knowledge overcomes defilements at that moment. But when the practice is getting weaker, when meditators could not gain clear insight, then the defilements might appear again. So in other words, meditators have to develop moment-to-moment mindfulness. When meditators put forth strenuous effort, then gradually meditators will be able to develop moment-to-moment mindfulness, and the mental factors of right thoughts, which is known as vitakka, applied thoughts, leads the mind to the object of mindfulness again and again. When the mindfulness is able to perceive every process of phenomenon attentively, precisely, and is not interrupted by any hindrances or defilements, then meditators will gain right concentration. That right concentration is known as vipassana samadhi, or vipassana concentration. In other words, that concentration gives rise to insight knowledge, rightly understanding the three common characteristics of phenomena. So this is known as right understanding. If meditators have not attained right concentrations or momentary concentration, then there's no insight knowledge, there's no right understanding. But meditators could develop momentary concentration, then there's right understanding from personal experience. And at each moment of the mindfulness, the mind is also abstained from wrong speech, wrong actions, and wrong livelihood. So these three factors, right speech, right actions, right livelihood, are known as three kinds of abstention, or three kinds of abstinence. That means the mind is abstained from wrong speech, wrong actions, wrong livelihood during the practice mindfulness meditation. So in other words, whenever meditators could develop momentary concentration, then other part of the factors will be arising with this concentration. In other words, when meditators develop mindfulness from one moment to next moment. At each moment, these factors of right effort or right thoughts will be actively working with the factors of right mindfulness. So when the right mindfulness is getting constant and continuous, then there's concentration. When there's right concentration, or in other words, vipassana samadhi, vipassana concentration, so that concentration gives rise to right understanding. And at each moment of mindfulness, these three factors accomplish, or in other words, the factors of right speech, or right actions, right livelihood. These three factors are known as Sila Magga, or the training in morality. So, in accordance with the explanation of commentary, the commentary say that when a yogi who is accomplished with insight knowledge, seeing or realizing the rapid arising and passing away of all the mental and physical phenomena, so that yogi has developed Lokiya Magga, or mundane path. So that means this Magga Satya, mundane path, has manifested in that yogi. So if meditators have not yet realized rapid arising and passing of mental and physical phenomena, meditators has not yet attained mundane path. In fact, if meditators have not yet realized the three common characteristics of mental and physical phenomena, anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and not self, meditators are not yet on the path of vipassana meditation. Sometimes we might say that we are practicing vipassana meditation, but as long as meditators have not yet realized the three common characteristics of mental and physical phenomena, meditators are not yet practicing vipassana. They are only practicing towards vipassana meditation. So, in other words, when meditators could realize the instant arising and passing away of the mental and physical phenomena for a period of time, then they come to realize the truth of suffering. So the truth of suffering here means sankhara dukkha. It's not dukkha dukkha or viparinama dukkha. Sankhara dukkha means being oppressed by the constant and instant arising and passing away of mental physical phenomena. So at that time, the cause of suffering is abandoned. So meditators could experience this truth during the practice mindfulness when there's deep concentration, but it's not yet attained the noble path. So meditators have to put forth effort so that they could experience the true nature of mental physical phenomena constantly, continuously, more thoroughly. Then they will make progress to a higher stages of experience, then there's only possible to attain the supramundane path. So when the meditator attain the supramundane path, then that path will uproot the mental defilements completely. If they attain the first path knowledge, the first path knowledge will uproot the mental defilements of wrong view and doubts. So when we talk about Paramada Satya, it's about Sabhava Satya and Arya Satya. And this Satya, this truth, can only be understood or realized through personal experience or direct experience. It's not possible to understand, realize fully by reading or by listening from others or by thinking. So that's why the Buddha say the truth can only experience by oneself. So in order to experience the truth, one must follow the path, one must develop the path.